Okay, thank you very much, fellow Africans, and welcome to our today's episode about the climate change that we face in Africa. This is our 30th episode, fellow Africans. We have done this since January, and I'm so grateful that we have done. This is our 30th, and we are on a streak, man. We are rolling this down. It's about addressing Africa and just finding. What we can speak about Africa in terms of areas that we need to improve, areas that we need to make very bold decisions if you want to transform Africa. And so therefore, fellow Africa, today being on a Friday, as always, we speak about the climate change that we face is an African continent. It's a global thing, but then we are in Africa, we speak about Africa, and we speak for Africa. Because I am an African, not because I was born in Africa, but rather I'm an African because Africa is in me. So therefore, allow me today, as I had termed it before, that this week we have been speaking about the recent proceedings that are taking place in Addis Ababa, Ethiopia, after the AUC, African Union chairperson, and all the other positions that were did. We had elections there about deciding. African Union was deciding on the leadership structure and new individuals coming in town. And so therefore, fellow Africans, when I speak about climate change as an African issue and as an issue that needs to be articulated at higher levels and with very much understanding of it, a keen understanding of what really climate change, what a hell it is for Africa in terms of looking at our different sectors, how it affects, because climate change really affects, and it really it's something that has really been into our many of our sectors. You can term the sectors like the agricultural sector, which is hugely impacted because when you speak about shifting of the unpredictable weather patterns, so whereby we do not know when it rains, and so therefore we find most of the farmers being in dilemma or in limbos, about should they really even do farming or plant the crops that for food and all other things. So it becomes a problem, and so you realize that we cannot continue to depend on rain-fed agriculture as a continent. And so therefore, because of the issues of climate change, so what do we need to do to make sure that we at least now have a clear understanding of since we cannot always depend on rain-fed agriculture, then you need to come up with strategic interventions in terms of now, since agriculture is not our thing, then let's focus on maybe irrigation, which is the best alternative, and that is the area that I'm trying to address. That as the new leadership comes into place and the African Union, let them try and see how they can foster the thing of our countries, the 54 sovereign states, being able to adopt or the issue of irrigation as one of the farming through irrigation as one of the key things that they're supposed to do. Because remember, when you speak about climate change and its impact to agriculture, we speak about people, because people, big population of African continent do rely on agriculture. A very huge percentage, over 80% of African population, in terms of even job opportunities, they do rely on agriculture. So once climate change comes in as an effect that it is a barrier in terms of us being able to do farming, then it means most people will not farm, and when we have no farming taking place, then it means that we have a huge population going to bed without food. We have a huge population which is unemployed, which is a factual thing. And so they need to figure out ways in which they can foster things to do with agriculture, more so irrigation driven agriculture, artificial irrigation. That is the way to go, because when we rely on rain, we cannot be able to do it, and our people will continue to die. People will continue to die in terms of they do not have food. So let them come in place. Let them think on how agriculture can be our thing in terms of irrigation being put in place. Irrigation systems. Solid irrigation foundations and systems to be put in place to be able to facilitate our agricultural duties or our agricultural proceedings, because rain-fed agriculture is a thing of the past. As we speak now, we have to rethink as Africa, because it is very sad that we still, very many countries, almost all of the African countries, we still do import, food, from other countries and continents. We still do import wheat, we import a lot of things from other foreign countries, from China. And looking at how these countries do produce, most of them is through agriculture. Not that they have rain, they do hugely depend on rain, but it's through irrigation, agriculture that is driven by irrigation. So why can't we also adopt that and make sure we are able to sustain ourselves and cut on importation, which also drains our financial stability? So as they come in place, let them collaborate with the heads of state of Africa and make sure that they invest in agriculture. They do away things to do with rain-fed agriculture, because we shall not proceed with such proceedings of depending on rain-fed agriculture. Climate change is there, and we have to look on ways on which we can adapt as a continent. We have to adapt. Adaptation means we do away with depending on rain-fed agriculture. That is what I'm insisting on. So let us figure out ways on which we can invest in irrigation systems that are modern, contemporary irrigation systems that can be able to facilitate our agricultural sector. And so therefore, fellow Africans, it is on a Friday, and so allow me to pause it at that point. Let's meet Monday as we discuss our first pillar again of the week, which is about governance. It has been a pleasure to be with you all over this week. God bless you. Have some interesting times, and over the weekend I still won't go silent. We'll have some interactions. I think I'll have a live somewhere, and then you'll get it, and we shall proceed this way. Continue to be of support in terms of opinions, in terms of being part of research, and just being there to help us as we maneuver through the journey towards preaching the gospel of change for Africa. Remember, Africa needs all of us, and it's about our unity that will be able to make us be triumphant after adversity, of which is now. So it is time for practical things to happen, and this is part of the practical that we are doing. Practical is about speaking. Practical is about nurturing people. So we are nurturing actually the youth of Africa. I know the current system, we try and talk much about things, but then we also try and see as we continue to progress. I know we'll have time to take over, and then we will have understood that we were speaking about this. It is what you need to do. Thank you. God bless you. Have some interesting afternoon.